introduce our next guest speaker, Melissa Moreno Mederos, BEd, who will present Transforming Learning with Technology, Getting Ready for College Board. Melissa Moreno Mederos, BEd, experienced educator with over a decade in innovative English teaching, skilled in virtual platforms and gamifications, prepares students for IELTS and college board certifications, holds a master's in educational inclusion and Google professional certificates, achieved award and in teaching contests and literary creation. It is a pleasure to meet you over here, Melissa Moreno Mederos.
Hi, good afternoon. Well, thanks very much for being here. I'm really delighted to share my project. My project is Transforming Learning Through Technology, the virtual tutor in Roblox. And consequently, what we're going to do is, of course, to use technology for this conference. So if you will be so kind to join the class, please, so we can start. Okay. Is someone else going to join? Okay, okay.
And just for like the information, I think that if they cannot scan the QR code, that it is possible for them.
Let me lower the music. I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
Yeah, thank you. That I was just going to check if, in case that any participant do not have the QR access, could they
Okay.
go just to Curie.live and then copy the pin, right?
Yeah, sure. The idea is that if you join, you will get the full experience, but even though you can follow it with me.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Ready. So I think we can start with the ones that are here. No? And the other ones you can continue joining with the pin that it's being projected there. So here we go. As I was telling you, the title of my speech is Transforming Learning with Technology, specifically is getting ready for college. Why college? Because that is an exam that students where I work need to present. So the thing is here that sometimes those type of certifications are really boring, and as they are standardized tests are not for everyone. That's why the first question that I would like to ask you is, when I say a game or where I mention gamification, where I say apps and technology, what is one phone game that you play? And what is a skill that you think that this app teaches you? Now, for instance, Roblox, that is this one, well, it's going to teach me maybe communication or creative thinking. So what I would like you to do is the ones that have joined, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to answer this question. Name one phone game you play and say one skill that this has taught you. So there we go. I have one answer, two answers. Three, okay. Okay. If you cannot write them here, you can write them also through chat. So there you can be having some interaction. Okay, some seconds more. Let's see, we have some things, some apps that were there, like the most popular that came to you. So what we're going to do now is from those ones that were mentioned, which ones are the ones that you agree with? Which one is the one that you connect the most? So for this one, I'm going to display these 5 answers that we have here. And what you're going to do is just to vote for the one that you connect the most with. So you just need to choose one that is there. Okay, so for example, we have here the winner is Clash Royale that teaches you strategy. Also, we have League of Legends as for vocabulary. Bubble Shooter taught me. Can we see? No, we cannot see. I imagine that it teaches you like I don't know, speed or attention. Subway Surfers has helped me to improve my level of concentration. Okay. I used to play road stamps and it helps me with my focus. Yeah. So as you can see, whatever app that we have the opportunity to develop different skills. Even they can be skills that help us for daily life or just skills that are just for studies, academics, other things that we have. So that's why I started this journey with this question: how can we use technology, but not only to teach, but also to make students acquire that knowledge? No, it's not the same just sometimes learning by learning than learning for a reason. We always need to have the reason why we are learning something. So, my studies started 11 years ago. That experience I had acquired has helped me to do different things. I hold a master's in educational inclusion and a postgrad in specialization in attention to educational diversity, where I started mixing gamification, virtual learning environments. I started seeing why technology is the most important thing. This one strengthened my belief that technology can be a powerful bridge toward inclusion. Why inclusion? Because sometimes some students feel that they are not there, or they have to memorize things, but maybe they are not good at memorizing, or they don't have the same strengths as the others. So that's why we need to have them like complete, that they feel part of something. I also am creator of technology based on learning projects, integrating English, doing coding, robotics, and I hold some certifications from Google, UNAM, Coursera, and ISTE, which are going to help us to learn a little bit more and to apply these things into our classes. Why this project? Why am I talking about Roblox? Why am I talking about coding? Why it has to be robotics? Why these things? Well, as I was telling you, preparing for standardized tests like College Board, IELTS certifications, it can be sometimes really overwhelming. So, why students have to face repetition, they are anxious, and they think that the sense of learning is not that important. They don't feel it as a real life experience. They just think that is filling in books, that is just memorizing information, that is preparing for quizzes, for tests, for exams. It's just learning from the books, but never applying this knowledge. So that's why we were discovering that there is a need for a method that fosters this creativity, this equity, and also the deeper learning through technology. At the end, these generations that are coming right now, they are using lots of technology. They are really dependent on this. So what we have to do is not to go against their nature, but as teachers to be able to adapt, not to be able to use this technology to have them engaged and to help them to learn different things. So I asked myself, I was there in classroom, I was teaching the lesson, and I saw some students playing Roblox, and I was, how can digital environments like Roblox make test preparation inclusive, engaging, but also relevant? So that's why I started transforming with this question. And I didn't want students just to study English because they are asked to, or because it's mandatory, because there is a subject that they have to do it, just to take it, or just to be there. What I wanted is English to be built, no? But not built literally like speaking activities, writing things, but really to create a world that they say, this is my world of English, this is my thing. So for that, what was the thing that happened? I started thinking that ISTE standards are some things that are going to help us for this, which is how to be a designer, how to be a facilitator, how to be a collaborator. Me, what I did was that one. I was like a coach. So I told students, you have your idea. What is the thing that we're going to do? You create your world. The only thing that I'm going to do is to guide you. So you're going to use these digital tools to create meaningful connections for you. Also, other thing that was part of important thing was the universal design for learning. Why? Because learning should be something accessible. How? Through meaningful and multiple means of engagement, representation, and also expression. Also, what is other thing that is going to help me? What is going to help me is constructivism. Why? Because the students build knowledge through creation, experimentation, and reflection. And by combining these, we could create a learning environment where technology wasn't just a gadget, but a gateway to agency and equity. That's the thing that we have. So here, as teachers, we have different standards. We can be collaborators. That means that we're going to give students the tools for them to have different authentic and real world learning experiences. But also, they are going to be not just for here, not just for Mexico, but also globally. This is something that is not just for us, but for everyone. They have to have this ability to share. Also, designer, why? Because we have to use technology to create, adapt, and personalize learning experiences that foster independent learning and accommodate learning differences and needs. That's other thing that we have. And finally, as facilitators. Why? Because we manage this use of technology and student learning strategies in digital platforms, virtual environments, and they been having hands on the fields that we have. Can you hear me? Because I think some of them have wrote me that you could not listen to me. It's the volume
Yeah,
okay?
I think that there was a moment where we heard you a little bit low, but I think that now it's normal. You should
Ah,
have.
okay. Perfect. Okay. So I continue.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
thank you
continue.
very much. So there are going to be also some ISTE standards for students. At the end, we have to make students be citizens of the world. So we need to give them the tools. We're not just there, we're not just computers, but coaches. So for this project, what we had were 4 different standards that help them. The first one is that we want to make them empowered learners. That means that they have a specific goal, and from that goal, they need to develop different steps to achieve it. The second one is that they are knowledge constructors. So that means that they did the research, like what I wanted to study, what were the sections for College Board, what are the skills that I need to present that exam, the same as for IELTS. Do I need to know grammar? If I need to practice my listening, what listening skills do I need to have? Everything was knowing from the basis. Which skills do I need? What do I need to apply? Why? Because from there they needed to develop a script and they needed to create their world. As for that, they are going to have also this role of being creative communicators. They are going to design the game, but also they are going to program and they are going to put their knowledge and their language into coding knowledge and coding language. So this one is related to computational thinker, which is that they're going to use different loops and they're going to use different functions as for developing not only the English but also logical and programming skills. These are the things that we have as for this Roblox programming. So they created this study environment, and the idea of this one is that it wasn't just learning by learning, but also they were playing. They created different obstacles, challenges, and the most important thing is that immediately when they had the answer, they received the feedback. So they needed this question, they had this question, and it says identify the mistake. And they have A, B, C, D. If you won't type the correct answer, the thing that happened is that your program won't open. You won't continue with the next steps, and you needed to know why. So in that way you were explaining and you were having this communication and this collaboration with the others that okay, this is not the correct answer, but why? Oh, maybe because it's missing a singular verb, or it's missing an s, or it's not the correct adjective, or it's not the correct adverb, or something there is kind of strange. So I need to identify and be aware of the knowledge that I need for these certifications. That's why they worked in teams, they designed these tests, and what they did was to give and receive feedback about this one. So, we have one question. How does this universal design learning make a reading game more welcoming for classmates with a varied learning needs? At the end, we have students that are visual, we have students that are kinesthetic, we have students that are more auditive, we have students that they cannot be sitting down, we have students with specific needs that maybe they have some specific learning needs, or that they don't like school, or they have emotional aspects. So why this program worked for them? Why do you think these programs help students to know a little bit more? So what I would like you to tell me is to answer this question. How does UDL make a reading game more welcoming for classmates with different learning styles and, of course, different learning necessities? So I'm going to give you 1 minute to read your answers that we have there. Well, I think 1 minute and 30 seconds, so you can write as many things as you can. So here we go. You can write either one word for it be a cloud, or mini sentences for it to be like visually nice. So there you go. If you can help me by answering this question. You can also write it there on the chat.